Hello guys, it's JongLi here, and I'm back with another online commentary battle for Rome Total War. This time it's a 3 versus 3 31k rules battle. As you may probably already know, this is the Brotherhood clan's favorite map. It's the snowy one, and I was lucky enough to play a game with them. As you probably know, my time zone is very different from theirs, so I rarely get to play with them, and this was, a pretty cool opportunity. So on my team we have Mystique and Liondorf, both as the CPR Romans, so it is going to be a little bit hard differentiating us, but I think you guys will manage, maybe. We have Xarga on the opposing team, Steve Longshanks and Spartan Commander. All of the Brotherhood clan except Xarga, of course. So this will be pretty interesting. Basically everyone has 14-6 builds except Steve Longshanks and Mystique. Mystique's got 3 Archer Auxilia, so he's probably got very highly upgraded cav or infantry. It looks like he has gone for upgrades on the cav, so his cav is a bit better. He does have the 3 Archer Auxilia, which in this battle will actually be okay because our opponents have not brought any archers, so these Archer Auxilia can just stay in tight formation and shoot away, do some DOT against our opponents. I'm on this left flank, and we have Liondorf on the right flank. Steve Longshanks has gone for 5 cav and 15 urbans, and Spartan Commander's just gone for the old 14-6. As you can see, Spartan Commander's build formation is very defensive, very compact, but very easy to get around because it is so small. We also have Steve Longshanks adopting a very strange formation. It's more of an anti-pike stalling formation than if anything. So I'm just going to walk up to Xarga here and initiate the Pila duel. Yep. Nothing much has happened so far. We will see. So Steve Longshanks pulls all his urbans over to Xarga and all his cavalry as well, so his army has shifted quite a fair bit to the our left. It looks like Liondorf is going to try and capitalize on this, get the separation on Spartan Commander and Steve Longshanks, but it looks like Spartan Commander has reacted to that and he is trying to get closer. I think Mystique sees this as well, and he's going to try and push up a bit with these urban cohorts, perhaps. These Archer Auxilia should be doing some pretty nice work. No, they're not doing anything. Okay, well, I would really have started shooting with them ASAP because if I bring archers, I just want to use up their arrows pretty much, unless I have to save them for chariots or something. So with this flanking force, I was initially going to try and be aggressive, but because there are so many units here, I can't really afford to do that. So I kind of stopped them and I start playing a bit more defensively with this flanking force and using it as a threat rather than an actual aggressive force. Steve Longshanks has committed a lot of his urbans onto the front of my guys, so my guys are tied up here on the left flank. Xarga is pulling out to this flank, and I'm getting some very nice Pila onto the back of his guys. So that was lucky for me. In the center here we have charges going in. I do manage to get a counter charge down, which is really nice. Spartan Commander's coming in with a charge, but Mystique is ready. He has been waiting for this, and he is going to take the second counter now. Meanwhile, all this is going on. Xarga is doing nothing. He's just kind of sat here in the corner against 4 urbans, and he's not pushing, which I find really strange. I've used all their Pila, so there's really no reason why he shouldn't be pushing. If he pushes this, he can break through and get into the back of my guys, which are, as you can see, very busy with Steve Longshank's urbans and all the cav charges that have come in. So again, I was thinking about going for a charge here, but it was kind of onto nothing since Steve had pulled back most of his urbans, so I don't go for it in the end. Xarga really should be pushing on me, but he's not doing it. And so Mystique and Lion Dwarf have taken this opportunity, and they're going to start shifting their resources to this flank, and they're going to try and push Spartan Commander and punish Xarga for not doing enough, basically. Xarga's going to push up here, but he's pushed in a more defensive direction. He's pushed to support Steve rather than to attack me, I think, with this move. So I mean, if I was going to attack myself in this situation as Xarga, I would move to this flank and push this way. But he's moved this way, and this does bring him closer to Steve, which means he can pump more urbans into Steve. But if you're playing aggressive, you really want the flank because it routes much faster if you go in from one of the sides. So it looks like Lion Dwarf is going for a charge now. He's going to get a slice charge onto Spartan Commander's guys, getting a lot of kills here. Flaming arrows going in from Mystique. Very nice combination. Spartan Commander is going to go for the counter. Mystique missing the counter charge, but his guys do turn around in time, and even though they don't get as much charge bonus, it does catch them from the back. So Spartan Commander's cav is surrounded. Steve Longshanks goes into support, but he supports through this center part, so the positioning is not good, and he can't get the flank on Mystique. So Mystique's guys still have a big advantage. These archers still pouring in the arrows. Lion Dwarf going to push his infantry up, bust them out of guard mode. They're going to start aggressively slicing away at anything in their path. I'm going in for a charge here, I believe, but it doesn't do much, so I decide to pull my guys out and try to get an angle on this bit here because I know this will be crucial to the outcome. And Xarga's coming in for a charge here, but all the SPQR breaks just as he gets there, so that's devastating for Xarga. His micro also has slipped, and he's not doing anything with these urbans, so these urbans are just sitting here not doing anything, and he's just giving us free reign of the our right side. These urbans really should be doing something right now. He's playing much too defensive. He needs to be aggressive here. Steve Longshanks in the center, still going at it against my guys. I've started putting my guys out of guard mode. I'm trying to actually damage Steve Longshanks now. On this side, Xarga has committed his cav to try and catch the Praetorians of Mystique, but Mystique outmaneuvering him, outskirmishing him. He's getting shot in the back with these archers. Mystique catching these returned units, so Spartan Commander will not be able to bring these back. Xarga now too far away to really do anything decisive to this flank. He needs to return quickly. He's going for the cav. He knows that this flank will break very soon. I'm going in for a charge, aiming for this general unit. I did get a fair few kills there. Not too much of a rout though, so it's not too damaging for him. Maybe around one unit. That the Legionary First Cohort is gone though, so that's going to reduce the morale for the rest of the SPQR units. Steve Longshanks really fighting to keep control of this side, but really it's just Xarga dealing with Mystique's infantry and my infantry on this left side, and Spartan Commander, his remaining forces, and Xarga also trying to shore up this flank over here. Xarga needs to do something big with his cavalry, or this battle will really well and truly be out of reach. Looks like Xarga's Legionary First has actually routed, so that's going to again reduce the morale for his troops. A nice charge, very nice charge here from Mystique, going to put an end to this a bunch of urbans in the middle. I come in with a charge on this side, and that is the mass route. Another Legionary first going down. Looks like this time it is Steve Longshanks. So this entire side has been wrapped up. Xarga hasn't been able to do enough damage to this side. He's only just started trying to charge down the urbans here, but because these urbans have been fighting for so long, they're already wavering. The fire arrows are still coming in on these Praetorian cavalry. They're tired from having run around the map. They're not going to be as effective as if they were fresh. So Xarga just kind of given up here. Has gone for a frontal charge on these urban cohorts. Everyone's just kind of chasing kills. I'm chasing kills. These Praetorian cavalry will not be able to do much at all at this point, and that is the game. So what really sealed it for us there was Xarga's misallocation of resources. With his urbans, he should really have been he should either have chosen to shore up Spartan Commander and help him stabilize, or attack me aggressively. It looked very, very likely that he was going for the aggressive line, but he just didn't go through with it when he needed to, and that like 16 urbans getting held on 4 is terrible value. He really should have just have pushed through in guard mode and then like charged them down, and that would have been it. I would have lost that flank. He would have had a very nice angle on my back lines, and he could have brought it back. We did take a while to rout Spartan Commander, and Steve Longshanks was trying to shore him up, so Steve Longshanks had to allocate resources to Spartan Commander, but Xarga still just kind of staying on this flank and not doing enough to help the effort. So he needs to work on his teamwork a bit more there. And he also needs to work on his decisiveness. Once you've decided on a line of play, you can't, well, you can, but once you've committed to it, you can't go back on it. So if you've decided to push against me, you have to do it. And I think that was the right decision, but he kind of went back on it. He went back to support Steve. He saw a lot of guys get routed. He was right to be worried, but what he was wrong in doing was being indecisive. If he wanted to support this side, he should have done it a lot earlier. He should have sent urbans there, but he also needs to work on his micro. So you guys probably saw, but he was chasing things, but he wasn't doing anything with his infantry, and it was always either one or the other, and he never really got going. So we kind of just snowballed that out of control with one flank, and that is usually what happens in a 3v3. You lose one flank, it snowballs, and you lose the center, and eventually you lose the entire thing. So well played to everyone there. Although I do have a lot of criticisms for Xarga this game, he still he toughed out. There was quite a bit of lag, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. It did clear up, I thought, after I think Lyondorf closed one of his background programs. The lag did clear up. I'm not sure how it was for Xarga, so maybe that was an issue. So yeah, I'm not sure how I got so many kills. Because my charges weren't really that great. I thought Mystique played exceptionally well. On our team, Mystique sent Urbans to support me. He sent Cav to support Lyondorf. He was very active on both flanks, and that's really what a good center player should do. If you're in the center, you should really be working to support your allies when they need it. The center is relatively easy to defend, so you usually can spare some resources, and I think Mystique played that really well in that game. Lyondorf also doing very well. He knew that pushing on Spartan Commander was the best choice to make. He knew we had to get that flank wrapped up very quickly, and he did great work with his urbans there. Spartan Commander unfortunately did not hold out. He did hold out for quite a long time, but it just wasn't enough, and I don't know if Spartan Commander and Steve tried to communicate with Xarga, but they really should have if they didn't. Either to support or attack me. They should have begged him to, pretty much. Steve Longshanks, he did work in the center, but in the end, I'm not sure if he allocated support to Xarga because he thought he was going to push. If so, he really should have messaged Xarga saying you have to attack, and things like that. Some nice kills going out for him there, but most of those are going to be probably from the urbans. He did do a lot of fighting, and he was actually quite aggressive in the center. Uh, but he did also try to support his allies, which I think is he's also a good center player. Xarga, as I've said before, need to work on some things, mate. Um, yeah, I think he really made or like what he did would make or break the game, and unfortunately, he just didn't do enough. So my kills, okay, so most of them were on the urbans. These Praetorian cavalry also doing a lot. Some of them not doing much, but most of them did quite a bit of work. The urbans, I think, just fought for a long time, so they got a lot of kills. And yeah, so that's the game, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully, I'll be able to do more videos in the future. See you next time.